just wanted to mention, I'm going through the French countryside, and stunning as it is, I'm just absolutely in love with it. It's beautiful. It is not what you would imagine. These little villages, beautiful as they are, with their lovely churches and the fantastic chateau and just lovely countryside, deserted. I know it's January, I recognise that it's January, but there's nothing going on. There's no shops, unless you're in a town, that's something different. But if you're in a village, there's no village shop, there's no cafe, there's no little bistro, there's nothing going on, there's no people walking around, there's barely any cars to suggest that people are actually around and in their houses. The vast majority of the houses, the shutters are closed all of the time. I don't just mean at night, I mean all day, as though there's nobody there. And you look at the the doorsteps of these houses, and they kind of look like nobody's been walking on them for a while, with like the leaves and the debris and so on. A house that's got some footfall, people walking backwards and forwards, the leaves are different, they've been brushed off or at least been trodden on, but that's not how it is. It's not really at all what you would imagine. So much as I'm absolutely in love with France, really, really, absolutely just beautiful, this idea that maybe most of us have of French villages is not the reality at all. In fact, I was in Bergerac last week on a Saturday afternoon, and it was dead. There were people around, but barely any, really. There were a few people, yes, was there life there? Yes, but I imagine it's different in, maybe June, July, August or whatever, in the peak season. There'll be more people around because there'll be a lot of tourism. But really, these places are semi-abandoned, really. I was told I'm just moving in between sort of one hotel and the next, and I was told by the owner of the hotel that I've just left that in a nearby town they normally have like this annual festival. There's this thing going on. She's normally extremely busy at this time of year because there's this festival that they do, but because it's been badly run at the moment, it's been cancelled, and it seems like it's going to be cancelled next year as well. Now her place was lovely, very good prices, lots of rooms available. I did meet a couple that were going down to, I think they've got a property in the Algarve or something like that, so they were driving down, a British couple. I met them, they stayed I think just overnight, but it's unbelievably quiet, like really, really quiet. You just don't see people about, you don't see people in the street, you don't see people in the garden, you barely see any cars, there's no cafes, there's no restaurants. This idea that we are overpopulated in Europe or anywhere or in the world, no. We might be overpopulated in cities, in big cities, yes, absolutely, because that's where people tend to get together, but most of Europe, to be honest, I drove through 10 countries in Europe last year, about a year ago. I cannot even tell you, like, the vast majority of Europe is deserted. Everywhere that I drove through, it was deserted. Seriously, it's not a joke, I'm not making it up and I'm not exaggerating. There's building after building after building after building, all completely abandoned. There's villages with nobody in them or barely anybody in them. There are, old shops, old cafes, old buildings that used to be used for things, not used for anything anymore. It's quite an eye-opener, actually, this idea that we're overpopulated. Yeah, maybe just in cities, certainly not the rest of the place, not the rest of Europe. I went through, where did I go? Netherlands. I didn't spend any time in the Netherlands, so I can't say, but Germany, Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, where else did I go? Montenegro, Albania, all through the bottom of Italy, around Sicily, and then I went through northern Italy, and travelling also up through eastern France before I went back to the UK. This was a year ago. It's insane. Like, it is, unless you're in the cities, it's dead, really. Nobody about.